The Coin Lady channel would like to welcome you back. In this discussion, XRP will be the topic of interest. Here, we shall discuss financial institutions. We'll spend some time discussing ISO standards and possibly government mandates. Let's have a look. The Federal Reserve's emergency loan could inject $2 trillion into American financial institutions. At this time, I do not consider this a good plan. If this continues, I fear hyperinflation will ensue. In this video, we'll go into greater detail on the topic. After major institutions like Silicon Valley Bank failed, it caused widespread economic havoc throughout the US banking sector. While it is believed that other banks are vulnerable, JP Morgan Chase and Company claims the Federal Reserve had to intervene to resolve the country's liquidity crisis. JP Morgan estimates that the $2 trillion that the Fed's emergency loan program will bring into the US banking system. It's possible that this will solve the cash flow problems for the time being. Why have I been repeating this for so long? There will be a severe lack of cash on hand. It looms on the horizon at this very moment. Now I think it's here for real, and that might be the answer to this particular problem, but what about the next one? Bank of America is currently experiencing some rough times. A collapse of another bank is imminent. With the next banking crisis brought on by a lack of liquidity, how many more banks will the FDIC and the Fed be able to backstop or bail out? Now, over a month ago, I warned that Bank of America appeared to be going through some liquidity issues, and people on crypto Twitter downplayed my warning. Keep in mind that there was a time when account holders were credited with return missing funds. As a result, normal operations were resumed. But as I pointed out, I believe there is more at play here. That's why I think Bank of America is so eager to implement Ripple and XRP in its operations. Really depressing, really. They are the sole practitioners of this practice. In the United States, XRP is considered a security, while in other countries it functions as currency. But I think that's going to change soon, and I think the U.S. could use some XRP right about now. They will require it to address the liquidity problems within the banking system. And if they don't, they'll just let the banking system collapse. After that, we'll begin using the CBDC method. The time has come for this to happen. Ministers are being warned by the European Central Bank. There is a risk that European Union banks will be affected by the current financial sector anxiety. It has been brought to the attention of ministers by the European Central Bank that some banks within the European Union may be at risk. Furthermore, Bloomberg reported today that ECB Vice President Luis Guindos made comments that show how some banks may be vulnerable due to their business models. Waiting to see if they, like the United States, immediately blame crypto for the failure of these banks. However, the issues are happening everywhere in the world right now. A worldwide panic ensues. The public's faith in the banking system is being tested. The situation for Credit Suisse is salvaged. They would never allow this bank to fail, as I predicted in yesterday's video. Help from the Swiss National Bank is here. Offering the $54 billion line of credit, Credit Suisse has rescued the Swiss National Bank, who actually anticipated any different results. Now. They're proud to have Credit Suisse as part of their national heritage. Even so, crypto Twitter was full of people calling for the collapse of that bank. This, they said, is our next Lehman. Everything has come to this. This has disastrous consequences. But I wasn't stupid. In light of the current banking crisis, I knew the European Central Bank would never raise interest rates by 50 basis points. There has recently been a price increase. What do you anticipate Powell will do in the United States? People are generally agreeing that he will switch tactics. That's fantastic news for the cryptocurrency market, but if he raises interest rates, nobody wins. Next week, the Fed will likely raise interest rates while simultaneously bailing out failing banks with new funding. Perhaps their goal is to wipe out the middle class and small businesses in this country, and that's exactly what they are doing. However, I continue to anticipate the arrival of hyperinflation. Silicon Valley Bank is now advertising themselves as the best place to keep or transfer your money because all deposits are fully insured and there are no limits on the amount you can deposit. Which is the most secure bank in the country? Turn of events. The FTX move ensures that SVB customers' deposits are among the safest in the country. We are actively extending new loans and opening new accounts of all denominations. I refuse to accept that this is actually taking place. Nonetheless, anyone who has fallen prey to SVB, will they transfer their funds back, or will they stick with the larger financial institutions? And who knows, maybe things will turn around in the coming months and SVB will fall again? However, that is just my opinion. I have never trusted the banking system. The United States dollar will resume minting at some point, and it will continue to lose value in the same way that a cryptocurrency would. What will happen if most of the currency is suddenly removed and an unlimited supply of tokens is created? To the new US dollar, a warm welcome. Are you prepared to face the consequences of hyperinflation? And now you know the root of the hyperinflation problem. When prices increase by more than 50% in a single month, we have entered hyperinflation. Inflation arises when a government prints money to fund spending but then fails to stop the printing of new money in an effort to reduce prices, due to the government's actions to expand the money supply. In normal inflation, prices go up, but when there is a lot of money circulating, they go through the roof. This kind of thing occurred in the US before, in the 1970s. Although I was not alive at the time, older people I've spoken with have assured me that this was indeed one of the worst periods in history, with things only getting better once inflation was brought under control. But if we do take this road again, how much worse will it be than in the 70s? That's the million-dollar query. The release of ISO 222 is imminent. I feel secure with my ISO coins even as we watch banks cause the pegging of stablecoins to fail. Is there a reason why this is happening before ISO? To this day, I can't shake the feeling that XRP and Ripple will eventually succeed. At some point, I anticipate the judge will rule that this case is finished. Prior to the launch of ISO, many people had already formed this opinion. This is the year that ISO 222 becomes the standard. Recognize the value of the things you currently possess. Even though I touched on this in yesterday's video, I didn't go into detail about how cryptocurrency that complies with the ISO 222 standard might be approved by a central bank that allows crypto payments. If the International Organization for Standardization ISO were to assign an official code to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, then these tokens would be added to the databases of major financial services like Visa and MasterCard, which would dramatically expand their use. We now know that Bitcoin and Ethereum won't be participating in this. To some extent, Ethereum, but not Bitcoin. But consider that XRP can be used just like a credit card. That's why I've always said that those who played it down were missing the point. A simple messaging system, ISO serves no other purpose. The impact of the launch of ISO will be much greater, and the value of some cryptocurrencies will almost certainly increase. However, as I've said in other videos, I think it will take some time. It seems like the value of cryptocurrencies will change slowly over time. Signature Bank actively pursued and celebrated in 2018 a relaxation of banking regulations. The financial institutions failed because of lax regulation and an excessive reliance on cryptocurrency. The public is entitled to an explanation for the economic devastation they have wrought. Elizabeth Warren has asked Signature Bank for clarification because she wants to reframe the conversation about cryptocurrencies' dangers as something even more dire. The decline of FTX came first. The financial sector is next in line. What should we do now? However, she provides no suggestions for improvement. The good news is that some lawmakers are taking action. To find crypto legislation that can pass with broad support, we lawmakers are scouring the weeds. The recent banking crisis, I believe, has finally lit a fire under these politicians to actually do something. Senator Tom Tillis has stated that the United States Congress is just beginning to make legislative progress on crypto oversight, and that various ideas are being examined to determine how much bipartisan support they can get. Tillis said on Wednesday at a Bipartisan Policy Center event in Washington that the process is currently mechanical. He claimed that all proposals from different departments were being reviewed in an effort to identify compromises that would pass in a Congress that is deeply divided along partisan lines. The Senate Banking Committee, on which Tillis serves, will play a pivotal role in moving forward any crypto legislation. If this issue has now spread to the banking system, will it be prioritized? When it comes to exchanges, things are very different, as they don't give a hoot about the average investor. They are thinking about the major financial institutions. It's possible that this will speed up the process of enacting new rules. And then there's this photo of Brad Gollinghouse as a leprechaun. And was he, or is he, giving us foreshadowing of what's to come this year? Is this the weekend for it? Reason being, St. Patrick's Day is also this weekend. Perhaps Brad was trying to get us to invest in XRP before it was too late, or perhaps he was just trying to tell us the case would be resolved this weekend. From my point of view, I am in possession of the most valuable digital currency ever created. It will be integrated into the forthcoming monetary framework. There will be incorporation of this. Evidently, more than just words are involved. It's a source of cash flow as well. It will be put to use, and banks will be ecstatic to get their hands on some XRP, especially now that it appears that virtually all banks are dealing with a liquidity crisis. I'd like to hear your opinion on this, though. You can share your thoughts in the comments section below. This concludes my commentary on this topic for this video. If you've been watching, I appreciate it. Please know how much I value your time in watching my videos. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next one. Bye.